r/NoSleep. Posted by u/Mintjump. Someone knocks at my door at 3:33 a.m. every night. I wish I didn't find out who it was. Knock knock knock. The knocking was barely loud enough to pull me out of my sleep. With my eyes drooping from tiredness, I pulled out my phone and checked the time. 3:33 a.m. Who the hell was at my door at 3 in the morning? With my back still hurting from the unpacking at this new apartment, I got up and slowly walked to my door. The white-painted wooden door looked as if placed in the spotlight by the moonlight coming from the window. Swing. I swing open the door and no one. Whoever decided to break my sleep in the night was already gone. Maybe a drunk neighbor knocked on the wrong door before realizing their mistake. Who knows? I closed the door and retired back to my cozy sleep. You can't blame me for not suspecting more. How could I have known the knocking would come back the next night? Knock knock knock. The knocking came back, breaking my sleep yet again. My eyes shot open, and I checked my phone in frustration. 3:33 a.m. I'd had a terrible day, so naturally, I stomped furiously out of the bedroom toward my door. This is my second day in this bloody place and you all can't even let me sleep. I swing open the door with a frown visible on my face. There was no one. Of course. I grunted, locked the door, and after mourning my interrupted sleep decided to hit the bed again. The knocking continued for another 3 days, leaving me restless each night. It was the same thing at the same time each night. 3 knocks at 3:33 a.m. The constant commotion had robbed me of sleep, and my exhaustion festered into anger. I was going to find out who was doing this. So, I sat on my sofa all night waiting for 3:33 a.m. By the time the clock hit it, I was struggling to keep my eyes open with all the willpower I had. As soon as the clock hit 3:33, I jumped up, ran to the door with all the anger that had piled up through the nights, and swung open the door yet again. To an empty hallway. "Motherfucker lucked out today," I whispered. And then I heard it. Knock knock knock. But this time the knocking did not come from the main door. It came from behind me. My body grew cold and my anger was replaced with a realization that made my spine shiver. Slowly, and unwillingly, I turned around. The knocking had come from my bedroom door, which was shut close. Was someone in my bedroom? Was I in danger? What should I do? Should I call the cops? All the adrenaline pumped by my anger had dried out while I contemplated what to do. "Hello? Is anyone there?" I asked loudly. When no answer came back, I slowly went and turned the doorknob of my bedroom. As the door squeakily opened, it revealed my bedroom with someone in it. All my blood dried and I stared at the person laying in my bed, unable to move a muscle as if I were in sleep paralysis. The person was me. I watched my mangled body, with its blood-red eyes and mouth that was frozen in its scream. And then the door flew shut in my face, knocking me back on the living room floor. My eyes swelled up and I curled into a little ball and cried for the remainder of the night, unable to process the fact that I just saw my very own dead body. I must have dozed off because the next thing was me waking up the next night. With a dried mouth and tired eyes, I crawled my way to my phone in the living room and checked the time. I was a minute early. I waited for a minute until 3:33 a.m. hit. Knock knock knock. Even though I was curled up just in front of the main door, I couldn't muster the courage to open it. But then it flew open, showing me the empty hallway. I kept staring at the empty hallway and after a while noticed that the roof had a person stuck to it. And then, without warning, the figure dropped with a loud thud. I screamed and cried as I saw the person was my body. Laying on the floor, it looked at me with its dead eyes that bled tears of blood. "Please stop," I cried. It did not stop though. Every night, I pass out from exhaustion after crying, only to wake moments before the inevitable knock. I don't eat or drink anymore. What's the point? The knocks have shown me so many ways that I can die, each one worse than the last. I can't take this anymore. I want to escape but the doors won't let me. I am writing this at 3:30 a.m. Only 3 minutes until the knocking shows another death of me. I just wish this time it kills me for real. Because I am scared that this is going to continue forever. Next story of this video. Posted by u/Mintjump. I played poker on the table of death. I decided to go all in with my life. "Just come on, Matt. It's gonna be fun," Ron insisted on me joining the poker table at the end of a dimly lit alley on our way back from the club. "You've had one drink too many, you dumbass." I brushed him aside. "We don't know these people and it's night and well. It's a table on the streets. Let's get out of here." "Oh God, you are such a chicken. Ron made a chicken sound while flapping his arms before turning away and walking to join the table. "Aw, fuck it," I say as I give in and follow him to the end of the alley where I see the old half-broken wooden round table. 3 people sat at the table who each held an interestingly creepy look. Ron sat to the left of me. To the left of him sat a man who introduced himself as the prisoner and wore a dirty worn-out orange shirt. To the left of him sat an old bald lady with broken glasses. She didn't introduce herself but held a gentle sweet smile that you would expect your grandma to have. To the left of her sat a slender young man who looked to be around 20 years of age. He told us that his name was Chad, if you can believe that. He looked like a nerd who would play poker by using some probability formulas in his head. And well, to the left of him was me. I know, this whole situation feels crazy. Why are we 2 drunk friends playing poker in an alley with 3 complete weird strangers? I would like to think that it was just Ron's fault for getting me to tag along, but something in the air made me want to play too. The granny, by whom I refer to the old lady, picked up the cards and told us that she would act as a dealer too. However, she momentarily turned her gentle smile into a stern expression and said something that made alarm bells ring in my head. "Only one person leaves this table. You chose to sit down and play, so if you attempt to leave now, you'll be shot. This is sacred." What the fuck? This is so dumb. "I am out of here," I said and got up, but prisoner quickly pulled out a revolver and aimed it at me. "Sit down," Granny said while Ron tugged at my shirt to sit back. I did. "We all will each have $100, Granny continued. "Whoever runs out of money will die. This will continue until one of us takes it all." "But why?" I asked in an agitated tone that truly reflected how weird I felt, half unsure if this was some sort of weird joke. "Why death and all that? Let's just play normal poker?" Granny just smiled her warm smile again, but this time it sent shivers down my spine. Chad answered for me. "Well, sir, you see that we are performing sort of a ritual. And we were short of 2 people because they did not show up. But you will do," he said with a bland expression. "You will do." And so began our long session of poker. Hand after hand after hand. Time felt stretched out. Night remained unchanged after hours of our play. We all carefully placed our bets and people never seemed to raise. By this point I was sure that this was no joke. And that I cannot afford to lose. Thankfully, people started to lose their patience. I knew I just had to hold it together until the others couldn't. Prisoner was the first to go all in. I folded, of course. But Granny called. And Granny won. And then Granny took the gun, aimed at the prisoner, and with the sweetest smile in the world she shot him. We continued playing with his corpse still sitting at our table. Chad seemed to calculate all our expressions and probabilities of cards. He was going to be hard to beat. Or so I thought. Soon enough, Chad and Ron both went all in and showed their cards. Chad had a double ace, while Ron had a 2 and a 3. "You ran out of patience, huh?" I remarked exhaustedly. "Goodbye, Ron. Hope this game was fun for you." "Shut up. I'm not gone yet," he replied with a hate clearly noticeable from his voice. And the granny began to show the cards. Ace, 5, King. Chad laughed with excitement, which was unexpected because I didn't think he was capable of showing emotion. I just let out a sigh and accepted that my friend was going to die. But I didn't feel too bad. He was responsible for all of this after all. Granny pulls out another card, Queen. And then she pulls out the last one, 4. 4. I won, Ron cried out in excitement. "Fucking Chad, to hell with you." Chad reverted to his emotionless face and simply stared into nothingness. Granny aimed her gun at Chad and shot again. 2 lifeless bodies on the table now. 2 more to go. We played for what felt like days, making small bets so as to not exhaust our reserve. But then I noticed that Ron was getting antsy again. He was raising a lot now, and while me and Granny folded, I knew he was bluffing to gain small advantages. So, when he raised me when I had good cards, I doubled. He doubled. And soon we were all in. "It's one of us now," I spoke with a broken voice. Even though I blamed him for this, he was still the friend that helped me get through tough times. He helped me when my parents died. He helped me when I was broke. He helped me when I was a complete mess. And never asked anything in return. He didn't reply. Just laid out his cards. I laid out mine. Granny did her thing and I won. I hated that win. I hate it now. I will hate it forever. "I am sorry," I whispered to him. I looked down and braced for the sound of a gunshot. 3 dead bodies now. I looked at Granny, who still held that sweet warm smile. "Looks like it's just us now," I said exhaustedly. Yes, dear. Let us continue. She spoke softly. I shook my head. I am tired of this. Whatever hand I get, I am going all in now. I tell her. I did not care then. My friend just died against me and I could do nothing. I am in the middle of this weird crazy game and the world has somehow stopped. I want it to be gone, dead or alive. I understand, she said and dealt the last hand. She went all in too. We both revealed our cards. She got a king and a queen. I got a king and a queen. But I had them in the same suit. Granny pulled out the cards and in no time it was evident that I had won with a royal flush. What a way to end this sad pathetic game. I looked at Granny, and she looked at me. She nodded and put the gun to her chin, and pulled the trigger. A table full of dead people. And me. I lived. I thank God that I got to walk away that day, and hate him for allowing such a game to be played in the first place. I have stopped playing poker, for obvious reasons. To be honest, I have stopped living too. That day killed the desire to live within me. I am thankful to be alive, but no longer know what to do with my life. I write this down in hope that this helps me get over it a little, but deep down I know it's of no use.